America and Russia brought their proxy war in Africa's soil. The African Union seems reluctant, and the nations within welcome these events. Military coups from east to west, the COVID pandemic, humanitarian and climate crisis, these are events of the last 24 months. Our continent, Africa, faces. In Mali, it was August 2020 when a group of Malian colonists ousted President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta. The military insisted it was done due to corruption issues, security, and disputed legislative elections. Although later the junta agreed to cede power to a civilian-led interim government, soon the coup leaders quickly clashed with the new interim president, retired Colonel Bahn Dao, and the second coup in May 2021 staged. Colonel Assimi Goïta, who had served as interim vice president, eventually assumed the presidency. In Chad covert coup, even if the Speaker of Parliament should have become president, Déby's son, General Mahamat Idris Déby, was named interim president on the pretext of restoring peace in April 2021 after his father, President Idris Déby, killed while visiting Chadian troops fighting rebels in the north. In Guinea-Conakry, Special Forces Commander Colonel Mamadou Doumbouya led a coup in September 2021 against President Alpha Condé. Here, poverty and corruption were put as a cause. Burkina Faso President Rochmark Christian Kabore was deposed on January 24, 2022. Burkinabian accused him on the way he handles violence caused by armed insurgent groups. Coups has also been taking place to the east in the Sudan on early October last year, while an attempt to seize a presidential palace in Niger failed. As recently as 2 weeks ago, an attempted coup was thwarted in Guinea-Bissau. Guinea-Bissau President Umaru Sissoco Embalo survived a gun attack that lasted for 5 hours and announced a major investigation launched, but denied it was carried out by members of the country's armed forces. ECOWAS chairman, Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo expressed all these events as contagious. It seems the move toward stability and democracy are now felt in Africa. Mainly, ECOWAS members are concerned that the coups could inspire similar actions against their governments. ECOWAS has levied sanctions on Mali and Guinea for failing to restore civilian rule after military takeovers. The closure of borders by ECOWAS member states with these countries, including financial transaction and trade embargo, as well as targeted sanctions against individuals, is done. The African Union banned these countries. European Union, the United Nations, and the United States already condemned the act and requested an immediate restoration to civilian rule. The military leaders' typical similarity that they didn't see or heard saying how or what they were going to do somehow to return to democracy or improve governance differently. Rather, they all seem more intent on sustaining their power. Citizen and civil society groups, on the other hand, are not so strong to influence military coups as they are happening, so the undoing of a government takeover or a transition to democracy will not be easy. Sudan is a good example for this. The institutions and their work instruments in these countries are not equipped with transparent and objectively verifiable measures, in which the system doesn't allow accountability, which in turn leads to nepotism, corruption, and finally totalitarian governments. But in any case, the coup leaders won many people's confidence. Why? It's because of the popular frustration against the international community. Let's take ECOWAS for example. In the African Union, they continue to monitor elections. The European Union observers declare it is free and fair. But what happened in between elections? Alpha Condé, Alassane Ouattara were good examples. Albeit the international community often sound the alarm when coups occur and puts sanctions against the doors, there is no measure taken, while constitutional amendments made in Côte d'Ivoire, Cameroon, Republic of Congo, or Equatorial Guinea, all of whom assumed office by extending their terms. This is how democracies are undermined, the constitution hijacked, and the constitutional coup d'etat was done. Yes, they are elected, but once in office, then forever in office. Not clear how soon they will leave office. New African Union Chair and Senegalese President Macky Sall has himself controversial third term. Does anybody raise concern in the African Union 35th Extraordinary Summit? Nothing. Not heard a word about it. What's up now? The youth were at the forefront of democratic social movements to reclaim civic space in Africa. We can consider the organized mass protests that forced the resignation of the autocratic Blaise Compaoré, the dictator Omar Hassan al-Bashir, the Tahrir Square revolt in Egypt which overthrew Hosni Mubarak, and others. But these changes were somehow below expectation and are totally aborted. Among the United States, Russia, China, Turkey, France, the whole Europe for that matter, who consider themselves as stakeholders of good governance and democracy, no one of them succeeded and will succeed in providing solution on how to tackle corruption and or providing an instrument that help building inclusive governance in Africa. But as a region is rich with diamonds, bauxite, iron ore, oil, and other valuable minerals, all they want is to get access on it, and in return, they will give political support to the military leaders, while the United Nations Security Council made sanctions against them. Now, anti-West sentiment grew in these countries, where coups stayed, especially in Mali. France is at the forefront. The other is the rational approach of ECOWAS. It didn't immediately adopt sanctions against Burkina Faso, as it did after the coups in Mali and Guinea-Conakry. Why? No objective reasoning available so far. Even if it is too late, the Africa solution is still in Africa's hands. The influence and uniformity of action of regional organizations like IGAD, ECOWAS, and others need to be consistent with the African Union modalities while being practical among nations. As nations evolve from totalitarian to democratic leadership, focus should be not on the duration of a transition, but rather on how much the transition accommodates and addresses the needs that have been marginalized, such as the women, youths, nomads, and ethnic minorities which live in the peripheral areas. Africa cannot afford external actors and historical colonial powers to meddle in its affairs anymore. That's why we say no more and hands off Africa. But unfortunately, the East and the West reboot in our soil. They leverage their proxy war. Watch out. These devils get dire for the love of it. The unity of Africa is at stake. It just gets nibbled away. Okay, this is what I have for today and for this edition. Thank you very much for listening. Please subscribe, share it if you like it, make a comment. Love you all, bless you, bye for now.